I was born and raised and now maybe divorced in Beverly Hills. This is my town. So, Raphael, you ready to talk about this? Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Raphael and I am here to discuss yet another possible divorce happening in the Real Housewives universe. And it's crazy because I was just on here discussing 2 weeks ago about Monique and Chris from Potomac and their divorce and what they're going through. And now here we are again a week later discussing Kyle Richards from Beverly Hills and her possible split, divorce, storyline, whatever you want to call it, to her husband Mauricio. And at this point, I'm gonna have to dedicate a whole section specifically to divorces on my channel. So expect a new video sometime next week when somebody new divorces, because that seems to be a trend nowadays. Like what's going on? Is that the new thing that everybody's doing? But you know, the last 24 hours have been crazy online. And let's take it back to when I found out about the breaking news, right? I was at the gym, working on my fitness. He's my witness. And I decided to go on Twitter for a couple of seconds while I catch my breath, right? So I open up the app. The very first tweet that I see, the very first one is Kyle Richards and husband Mauricio decide to split. And I'm like, what? And it's coming from People magazine. So I'm thinking, okay, they're a reliable source. They wouldn't just post some BS just to post it, right? So I'm thinking, what? Not Kyle Richards, not the Kyle Richards, not the gaslighter from the Beverly Hills Housewives. And I'm looking around like, oh my goodness, I want to discuss this with somebody. I want to talk about it with somebody. I was so tempted to just go up to somebody random at the gym and ask, hey, did you hear about Kyle and Mauricio? Did you hear this coming? They probably would have looked at me like, what are you talking about? I don't watch that housewife shit. Get that out of my face. 1, 2, 3. So you know me, I use this as an excuse to go home. And besides, this was kind of like a workout anyway, because as I was going through the tweets and the articles and reading through it, my blood pressure was up, my heartbeat was pounding, I was sweating. So it was a nice little workout, right? So I think I got my fitness in regardless. So I go home and I read the article and it says, Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky have separated after 27 years. 27 years, that is such a long time. And I know that people always say, oh, you might as well just be together to the very end. That's almost 30 years. That's a long time together to just throw it in the garbage. And I mean, I don't believe in that. I don't care what type of stipulation people have between each other, whether it's staying together for the kids, oh, they want a perfect family portrait. No, I don't believe in any of that, because you also have to be happy. And if you're not happy with your partner, what's the point of just sticking it out to the end if at the end you're not going to be happy and you're just there because you're children, because you want them to look at both of you as if like you're both like perfect parents or whatever, or a perfect family? No, it doesn't make sense to me. Whether it's a month, a week, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. I don't know about 50. 50, maybe you might as well just stick it out. A source close to the pair. A source being Teddy Mellencamp, Lisa Rinna, the morally corrupt Faye Resnick, Erica Jane, Dorit. I mean, the possibilities are endless, right? But a source close to the pair tells People, Kyle and Mauricio have been separated for a while now, but are still living underneath the same roof. Which roof though? Because I believe that they have like 2 or 3 houses together. So which roof? Must be nice to have options, but they remain amicable. For a second, I thought it said they remain having cable. I'm like, okay, so does everybody else. They remain amicable as they figure out what's next for them and their family and their potential storyline for season 13, 14, and possibly season 15. Kyle Richards wishes that she's going to be the center diamond for next season. Okay, so Richards, who's 54, she's 54? First met Umansky when she was 53 at a nightclub in 1994. Wow, that's 1 year after I was born. Wow, what nightclub? I want to know what nightclub, Kyle, so I could find somebody rich in Beverly Hills to stay together for 27 years. But at the time, Richards was divorced from her first husband, who she had a daughter, blah, blah, blah. They have 4 daughters altogether, right? And again, like I said, when I first read that, I'm like, wow. I blamed it on two things. Dorit being the first reason, because we all remember the rumors of her and Mauricio allegedly having some type of affair last season. Specifically, those first couple of episodes where Dorit's house got broken into, that I'm still not believing. We're still not believing that, right? Because I don't buy it. But her house got broken into and she was a complete mess. She was crying. And then Mauricio and Kyle and everybody else, they all came over. Mauricio was comforting her, and then she was on his back, kissing him and just sobbing all over him like, you know what, my baby? I'm just so sad that they stole my Chanel and my Gucci bag and my Louis Vuitton, my baby. But I'm so glad that Mauricio, you're here, my baby. Come over here. Oh, Mauricio holds me. We all remember that, right? It was kind of suspicious, but that. And then the second reason, I feel like, and this is just me personally, I feel like this is a scheme that Todd came up with to come at us with the bullshit. To get us to watch next season because Lisa Rinna's not there. So obviously everybody's calling it a flop season. Oh, it's going to be boring. No drama, no this. But at the same time, Kyle, while yes, Kyle will throw anybody, all her sisters, her cousins, her aunts, her everybody underneath the bus to make good television and to get ratings. I personally don't see Kyle throwing her marriage or her husband underneath the bus for a storyline. Like, I just don't see her doing that. But then again, and then, of course, the dinner from hell from season 1, 13 years ago, that also came back up with the medium, the psychic, Allison Dubious, and what she told Kyle when Kyle kept pressing her on and on and on, like, oh, tell us something, tell us something, tell us something. And Allison kept telling her, no, I'm not here for that. I don't want to use my gift right now. This is just a dinner party that I'm invited to. And Kyle, if we all remember, Kyle, back then, the earlier seasons, Kyle was such an asshole. I mean, now she's a little bit calmer now, but back then, I remember, Kyle, you were an asshole, but she kept pressing Allison, and Allison was just like, okay, fine. You want to hear something? Fine. Your husband, he will never emotionally fulfill you. And oof, those iconic words. Your husband will never emotionally fulfill you. You and him, you have children, but once they're grown and adults, they're going to move out and you two are going to have nothing in common. You're going to stay with him and he's going to support you, but you're never going to be happy. That's that. And Kyle, she did not know how to take those news. She was just looking at Allison like, no, absolutely not. I mean, look at my husband. I mean, yeah, I will stay with him. Like, I'm not going anywhere, and she did say when the children are older. She never said, oh, you and him are not going to have anything in common in 2 weeks. She said when the children are older, and now the children are older. So it only makes sense with the timeline. So it's pretty scary. And then Allison Dubois, she put something on her Instagram. First, she posted a screenshot of the infamous dinner, and she put the caption, "My phone is blowing up from reporters now that Kyle and Mauricio have separated. So here's my comment. I don't wish Kyle ill. I hope she finds what she's looking for." Ooh. I guess I'm the only one who saw this coming. People kept telling me I was picking up on Camille's divorce because at the time, everybody kept saying, oh, maybe it's Camille Grammer who's sitting right next to her. Maybe she's predicting her future, her divorce, because I believe Camille went through a divorce that same season or the following season. And that's not the way it is. And then she put mic drop, #medium. And then Allison Dubois on her Instagram story, because I checked, she started reposting posts from other people that said that she should be on Watch What Happens Live with Andy. I mean, I'm not even upset with her. I feel like she should be a guest on a future episode just to see what she has to say. If anything, I feel like they should bring her back for next season. Get rid of the current footage, throw that in the garbage, and refilm the whole entire season with Allison as a friend of. Or better yet, because I know Bravo, or better yet, Peacock, I know that they have the budget to give Allison a good amount of money to bring her on as a full-time cast member. Just give her like a pack of e-cigarettes or vape pens or whatever, and I'm pretty sure that she's gonna show up like this. Erica Jane, you may think that you're avoiding jail for now, but guess what? You're not. Not for too much longer. Know that. Dorit, you may think that you have a chance with Mauricio, but guess what? Wait a minute. Actually, no, there's a possibility for that. And can you imagine the intro with her and Kyle standing right next to each other, center diamonds, and Allison is right there next to her? Her tagline will probably be something like, "People always think they know my every move, but they don't. I know theirs." Like, it'll be so iconic to see her back on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills again. Like, imagine if she does a whole Dinner from Hell part 3, because we already had a part 2. Regardless, now we get down to Kyle Richards. She posted, after having everybody online going crazy for a couple of hours, all of a sudden, Kyle, she hopped on Instagram and she denied all of this. And she says, in regards to the news that came out about us today, any claims regarding us divorcing, again, she used the word divorcing. She never said anything about them being separated, because that was the initial post that her and what's his name were separated. We never assumed that you guys were divorcing, but however, yes, we have had a rough year. The most challenging one of our marriage, but we both love and respect each other tremendously. There has been no wrongdoing on anyone's part. As if they're really just gonna come out and say, yeah, I cheated on my husband. Like, nobody's really that upfront, especially Kyle. You really think that Kyle is really gonna, taint her image just to try to prove the truth to the people? No. But there has been no wrongdoing on anybody's part, although we are in the public eye. We ask to be able to work through our issues privately. No. While it may be entertaining to speculate, it sure is. Please do not create any false stories to fit a further salacious narrative. Thank you for the love and support, Kyle and Mauricio, and I can't wait for season 13. Please watch, because we need all the ratings without Lisa Rinna. Anyways, so then today being July 4th, Mauricio and his family and Kyle, they went out to celebrate Independence Day, and he posted a bunch of pictures on his Instagram, and there's one specific picture with him, Kyle, and there's a dog in between them. And maybe I'm just looking too deep into it, but it just seems by their body language that something is off. And I get it that Kyle just told us that they've been having a rough time, but if I was him, I would have just never posted these pictures, especially with everything that just happened 24 hours ago. And he posted the picture, his hand is on Kyle's back, but there's this awkward space in between him and Kyle. And Kyle, her body's kind of leaning to the side like, ugh, get the fuck off me. So I'm not sure. And again, I just feel like they're going down the same route as Monique and Chris. I would not be surprised if at some point Kyle, she went on Instagram Live and she, basically said, oh, me and my husband, Mauricio, we're not getting a divorce. Ha, ha, ha. And then what happens 5 months from now? Oh, guys, we're getting a divorce. And then here I am on camera again announcing that they're getting a divorce. And I've also seen the alleged rumors about Kyle and somebody else, but I don't want to discuss that because I just don't feel like that is something that I should be announcing. I feel like maybe she should announce that first, and then we could discuss that if it is true. But, it's so funny now because if it is true, Kyle, you did the same thing to Denise Richards a couple of seasons ago. Like, you were wanting to know these questions, that you have no right to, but yet you kept asking and asking and asking. Like, oh, we're just being honest. We're just being honest. You need to put it out there. And then now all of a sudden you're asking for privacy and, oh, we're in the public eye. Respect us. Respect our privacy. You see how it feels? But okay. But if anything, Kyle, I did make a short list for potential taglines for next season for you. So if you are watching, feel free to take any of them. Just give me some credit. So the first one that I have is, divorces are typical in Beverly Hills, but nobody does one like me. The second one is, I'm born and raised and now divorced in Beverly Hills. This is my town. And then the last one, he may not fulfill me emotionally, but Beverly Hills will. Feel free, if you have any type of suggestions for her potential tagline for next season, drop them in the comments. I know Dorit, the second that she was scrolling on Instagram, she was scrolling on Instagram and she saw Kyle's post about, oh, me and him, we're still together. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. I know Dorit had a whole meltdown. She was probably like midway packing up all her stuff. She was about to leave PK in the middle of the night to head over to Mauricio's house. Like, okay, let me see. What should I bring over to my baby's house? I'm gonna bring my Gucci blanket. Let me see. I think that he's probably gonna want a sweater, and he's probably gonna cry into my shoulders and my bosom. So, let me see. I'm gonna bring my Louis Vuitton luggage. Wait. What does Kyle mean? They're still working out? They're not getting a divorce? No, Bubba, wake up. Mauricio left me. Like, I can already see Dorit being so upset. Erica Jane, I could just picture her in her cabin or her tree house or her shoebox, wherever she's living at now. She's probably looking at the news like, I don't care about Kyle. I don't care about Mauricio. I don't give a fuck about anybody but me. Or what? Or what? Or what? You know, because she's still trying to stay out of jail. She's still trying to figure out how she's going to pay back the widows and orphans and trying to keep those earrings that I think that she handed over already. So, and then Wendy from Potomac. Yes, Wendy, she's involved in this whole situation. Kind of, because I believe a year ago, she had posted to the very day that the news broke out online yesterday. She had tweeted a year ago in 2022, a year from now, just wait to see what happens. Wait, something's gonna happen at this very given time a year from now. Just wait. And then boom, a year later, everybody was digging up that tweet for some reason and asking Wendy, oh, so are you a medium? Did you predict this? You know, assuming that she was talking about Mauricio and Kyle's divorce or split. And then I see Marlo from Atlanta commenting on a blog post saying that Kyle and Mauricio, they're working things out. They're not getting a divorce. She comments the emoji, the two hands praying. And I'm looking at Marlo like, now, Marlo, cut it out, because the second that you and Kyle are on an ultimate girls trip together and Kyle does anything to piss you off, the first thing that's going to come out of your mouth is going to be like, that's why your husband left you. He never loved you to begin with. I can just see it already, but okay, Marlo with the prayers. And then Brandy, you know, Brandy, former housewife of Beverly Hills, she also tweeted saying, I see what's going on, you know, and all the media trying to reach out to me, trying to get my opinion on what's going on between Kyle and Mauricio. I wish her nothing but the best, blah, blah, blah. I don't want anything involved. And I'm looking at Brandy's tweet like, the media? Who's asking for your opinion? But okay, the media, right? So, but what do you think? Do you think that there's any type of truth to what Allison told Kyle 13 years ago about Mauricio not fulfilling her emotionally? I mean, I wish a bitch would tell me that. I would have lunged across that table like, fulfill these fists. And do you also believe in psychics or mediums or anything like that? Or do you just think that they're heading for divorce and Kyle is just trying to protect her image for now, and then behind the scenes, everything is falling apart and she's trying to leave the marriage? Or do you also think that this is a way for Kyle and I guess the whole production team to create buzz and attention for the upcoming season later on this year? I mean, again, it's Kyle, so I wouldn't put it past her, but I guess we'll see how this whole situation plays out within the next couple of months or weeks or the next 24 hours at this point. But let me know what you all thought about this whole situation down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah.